My name's Eli Delaney, and I have the honor of meeting some pretty cool people. These are the entrepreneurs, the artists, the creatives, the game changers that are making a positive impact in the people that they meet. And I'm a firm believer that the people that you meet can get you anywhere you want to go. And this show is my way of sharing them with you. It's my way of also helping you meet cool people. All right, welcome back, everybody. Eli here, and today I am super excited. This gal and I met, it was going to be, I believe, November of 2021, I think. And I was here in the DFW area speaking at an event with Tim Gillette at his event. And she had actually just moved here from California. And I was like, hey, I have a new friend when I move. And I was thinking about moving. And it's taken this long, but we've actually started to get to really do some cool stuff hanging out together. And so I want to introduce you to Toni Caruso. And she has over 30 years in live events, media, and is the executive director of Ewomen Speakers Network. Toni helps entrepreneurs turn their voice into business assets. And get ready for some really cool stuff, because as somebody who comes from the speaking world, I love having these conversations with somebody who's actually in the depths, putting stuff together, whether it's her own events or helping other people put their events together or helping them get on stages. She is a master of it. So with that said, Toni, thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
I'm very excited. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, it's been way, way overdue for this anyway. And yeah, it was so funny because I actually remember the day that you and I met, and I believe it was 21. If I
You're
believe
right,
it
because
was
I had
21.
just we'd moved here
Hmm.
September of 21, and I
Yeah.
remember Tim Gillette's event, and I
Hmm.
do remember meeting you. I thought that we met at one of Craig's events.
If
So,
we did, that's a possibility. But the last event that I had been in at Craig's was in like 2012, I think.
oh, then probably
So
not. I was doing
yeah.
his events in like 16, 17, 18,
Okay.
right in there.
Yeah, and that's how I met Tim,
Okay.
and originally, and so, Craig and I had known each other for years. Whichever event it was is when the space shuttle landed in the middle of the event. So if you were at that one, that was
No,
because it was a big thing.
no.
They were just like, "Okay, they're landing the shuttle. We're just going to stop the entire event. Everybody can go out and check it out," because it was at the hotel by the LA airport, which is where they were landing the shuttle, and it was this whole big thing. And that's the last event I was at with him, and I do remember that because it was such a big thing.
That was
Um,
the shuttle was on a plane, correct? Because I think my
correct.
son
Hmm.
and my husband went out to the Santa Monica Pier to watch it fly by,
Yeah.
and with thousands of people. So
Yep.
that's funny that we remember that same day.
Yep, and so I remember it because that's what I was in LA for that event. It was a great event. I met some really cool people there, and then fast forward, you and I both know Craig, and we've been connected to him for a long time. And so I came. Tim had invited me to come speak at his event here in the DFW area, and that was the event. Just so you know, because I don't know that this part of the story. That was me actually not just coming to speak, but I was actually coming, and I stayed for 10 days that
Wow.
trip to check out Dallas, to figure out, is this where I want to move? And so I spent 10 days here, and I've checked it all out. Like, we were at the event for 3 days, and then,
Mhm.
after that, we went to Messina Hoff and Grapevine and had wine over there. And then I just kind of explored. I had no clue what I was even looking for, but I explored for a few days. I flew my daughter down. We actually went to the Texas Renaissance Festival down outside of Houston. And I spent the whole time here just deciding, okay, is this where I want to make home moving forward? And it was interesting because I had narrowed it down to either here or Vegas. And the next month I was in Vegas for an event, and I was like, yeah,
No.
this isn't it. And Dallas is it. And that's how I got to come here.
Yeah,
So
ours was a fluke too because Craig had moved here, and
yeah.
so he said that there was some great real estate buys,
Hmm.
so we came here to find real estate property to rent
Okay.
out to as we were never planning to leave California, that was, like, born and raised,
Right.
and and we came out here and we drove up in the country and found this housing development and saw what the prices were like and said, "This is silly, we need to buy a house here." And we were gonna live in both places for a while, but every
Hmm.
time we'd fly out to check on the house build, we didn't wanna go back. So
Yeah.
it took a year, and then we were like, "You know what? Real estate is great in California. Let's take our money and run," and that's what we did.
Yeah. Well, and you've done a great job of building your community here too, which is
Well,
great. I know you're doing your events, which I have yet to still get to an opportunity to get over to one because I just keep running so fast. But I definitely want to do that one of these days. But I know you're having your events, you're doing stuff here, and then you're also doing your events, traveling around. You just
mhm,
did one in Denver, which is
yeah.
awesome, and we'll talk about that in a sec too. But you've done a great job of still keeping the community globally essentially, but you build a great community here too, and you've been really a big part of that. And I've seen it from a distance. That's what we call it, when we're stalking people on LinkedIn.
It's okay, you can stalk me.
Yeah,
I'll let you.
that's good. I call it ethical stalking. So
Yeah. Oh,
how do
that's
we
a
do
good
that?
one, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, in this reality, and for things like what you and I do when we're speakers, and quote unquote, I don't like using this term, but we are quote unquote celebrities of some sort. We have those. It is like, okay, we'll just call it ethical stalking because not in the
Yeah.
creepy way.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't block you, it's all good.
Yeah, that's good. I appreciate that. So let's talk a bit about who is it you really help? I'd love to start with that and kind of set the stage of who it is you're helping, and what are they looking for?
Well, the story goes back to an event I did in, I think, 2018. It was for Craig, and we had a speaker there, and it was her first time. And she was bothering the AV team, and then she started. The poor guy that was recording all the event was taking lunch, and she's over there, and I kept going up to. My name's Toni Caruso. I'm the event planner. Can I help you? Oh no, I'm giving him my shot list of what the shots I want. I'm like, oh, unfortunately, you have 20 minutes on the stage. You're going to get all the raw footage. You can edit it as you please. You can zoom in, zoom out, whatever you want to do. And then a few minutes later, I look up and it's a break and she's practicing her talk on the stage. And I go up again. I go, excuse me, you can't be on the stage during a break. Well, I need to practice. Well, we've got lobbies, you have the bathroom, you've got your room, and she just kept doing, I want to use this kind of microphone. Well, no, if you have 20 minutes, you only get the handheld. We send all that information to you in an email. And then I realized after 2 days of this woman, I said, you know what? Speakers don't know what they don't know. And so I felt like, as an event planner and someone who's been in the back of the room, maybe I should teach them.
Yeah. No, and I love that because that's an interesting look at it because I've seen so many people that focus on helping speakers with their talks.
Right.
And it's like, how do you get on stages and how do you present well? But there's so many other aspects that people don't know about it. It's kind of like before we hit record here, you and I were talking about like podcast guests, and I've done a lot of coaching for podcasters because podcast guests because of the fact that so many of them just suck and need some help.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is what makes you a great guest. If you want to get on more shows and you want the host to say wonderful things about you, these are the things you need to do. And it's not about the words you say. And so I love that you've taken that was like the catalyst for you because that was not what I expected, quite honestly. I was figuring it was like, okay, I have experience doing these things and I want to help people. But it was like, oh no, these people just don't know these basic things that they really should. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. They should.
Well, and if you're pissing off the event planner, they're not going to ask you to speak again. And we're a small
Yes.
group. We talk to each other.
Oh yeah.
So then, like, oh, yeah, Eli, yeah, he's great. He's great. You should have him on your stage. But Joe over there, don't touch him. He's going to be a pain in the butt. Yeah. But we talk. And it's
Right.
funny. I just had lunch with someone who speaks on huge stages. She spoke and helped me at Ewomen. And we were having lunch. And I said, do you know so and so? Oh, yeah, I know so and so. And do you know? And you know all the same people and
Mhm.
you feel kind of the same way about them.
Right.
So just know that, when you think no one's looking, they're looking. People are
Mhm.
watching. People are talking about you in rooms you're not in. What do you want them to say?
Right. I love that. And that is such a true thing. We do have a very incestuous community when it comes to events and speaking and stuff like that. And I mean, I've been doing this since 2008, and there's so many people. It's like I walk into a room and it's like, okay, I know the AV guy from when they've got started, right? And it is, yeah, these are such powerful things. So I want to kind of go into a teaching moment with some of this because
Okay.
if somebody is a newer speaker, let's not worry about the presentation itself, but
Mhm.
what are some of the things they need to do to be a great speaker, not from presentation, but from how do you treat the crew? How do you communicate what you need from other people and ask the right questions if you're not so sure? Because some of those kind of things, because I think that's the stuff that would be really, really helpful for people.
Well, what's I think most important is you have to have a strategy. Begin with the end in mind. What do you want when you walk off the stage? Not just, I want to get up and I want to share joy. Yeah, that's great. But are you independently wealthy? Because, it costs to be at events. You have to pay for planes, hotels, all of that. It costs a lot of money to be a speaker. So what does the end look like? What do you want when they walk off the stage? And if you don't have a strategy going in, you're going to fail going off. Another big thing is deadlines. This is my pet peeve, my biggest pet peeve. If I ask you for your picture, your bio, your topic title, and I need them by February 12th, get them to me on February 11th. I just booked a speaker the other day and I asked for all the things and I gave him a date in 2 weeks. He literally, it was like hit reply and sent me everything. Have a Google sheet with all of your assets in it, and you can just send it very quick, easy. Because if you don't send them that information, you're not going to get onto their website. They are not going to be able to promote you. They're not going to be able to do a social media post then you can promote. So all of us want to get on stages, but we're not doing the work for the event team in order to make the event successful.
Right. I That is great. And it is such a big thing. Like for a long time, that's always I have a Google folder that has everything and more. It's like
Right,
and I'm always telling people, it's like, create this folder that has this stuff so it makes it easy for you to copy and paste. And don't discount. Like, one thing that's a pet peeve of mine, especially for the show, for my podcast, is when somebody says, "Oh, you can get that information off my website." It's like, no, I have fields in boxes for you to fill out.
right,
Do it, because when I don't get that information properly, that actually messes up my entire flow and process with my team. And now somebody has to go dig that out, where literally before, I'm an automation guy. I have things put in places where they're supposed to be on purpose. So we
right.
don't have to like mess with it. And those are the kind of things that are such an easy, quick fix that so many people don't have.
It's
Um,
just simple. It's
yeah.
simple, and please have a picture of you that was taken within the last year. How many times have you seen someone come on stage and you're like looking at the app and you're like, that's not what she looks like because 20 years ago she had a really good picture taken and that's
Mhm.
what she's using. It tells the audience you're lying to them.
Right.
Nonverbal, right? Nonverbal. 93% of what we do is nonverbal. You
Right.
walk on that stage and you don't look like you're supposed to look. Oh my goodness. People are going
Mhm.
to say, oh, well, she's lying to me.
Yeah.
And so you have to spend all your time changing their mind to get the know, like, and trust.
Right. So that actually brings me to a question that is an issue in today's world. What about people that are using all the AI headshots and stuff?
Yeah. Um, it just depends. I
Sure.
mean, AI will give you an extra finger or it'll make you look a lot different than you are. You got to look like you. And
Right.
I don't care if you need to lose 20 pounds and I don't care if your hair is gray now and give me a picture and don't take it with your phone. Spend some money and get some decent headshots taken
Right.
because I can tell you it is the first vision that people are going to get of you and they're going to make a determination whether or not I want to go to your breakout session. I want to come early and listen to you talk. I mean,
Mhm.
you have to look friendly, you have to look engaging, and you have to look professional.
Right. No, I 100% agree with that. That's the biggest thing with a lot of that stuff, is that people don't have those pictures that are engaging, that make you look friendly.
Mhm.
And I've seen that. I see some of them where they have the pictures where they hands crossed and they're kind of glaring at you. I'm like, I'm kind of scared to go see that guy, you know? Um, I think that that is a really big thing that people skip and they don't think about it. That sometimes they'll go for the power pose, and
Right,
I suppose that has its time and its place. But there's so to me, and this is really more of a me thing. I want somebody to feel approachable
right.
and likable, and like they look like they have a personality that I would enjoy talking to or listening to
Or working with.
or working with.
You know,
Absolutely.
if you're
Yeah.
selling you're offering a coaching program or something, do I want to spend a year in their coaching program? They're mean. Why would I spend money, you know? So
Right.
you have to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Um, Another really big one for me is if the event is 3 days and you're on the third day, please come day one and stay all three
Mm,
days.
yes.
It tells the audience, number one, that you're a part of their group. You're one of
Mhm.
them. And for instance, I was at Podfest. I was on the third day. It was my first year. So they put me in the morning on the third day where no one's going to show up,
Right.
whatever. And that's okay. It's my first time and I gave it my all. But as I was talking, I'm saying, hey, did you hear what Pat Flynn said yesterday on his Zoom? Oh my God, it was brilliant. And did you hear what so and so said? That
Mhm.
means I'm a participant. I'm learning along with you. And
Right.
so it gets that know and like a lot faster and the
Mhm.
trust because you're one of them and you're in there. Don't sit at the private speakers table and act like an elite. And please, 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 unless you are Tony Robbins, you don't show up 10 minutes before you go on stage, get your mic on, and then say, hey, I'll meet you in the back. And after you're back there for 15 minutes, leave
Right.
because you close more
Yep.
deals at lunch, in the bar, and I tell you, I've closed more deals in bathrooms. So, women talk in bathrooms. So, I'm just saying that you're very approachable because you're there.
Right. Yeah, I can 100% agree with that, and it's one of the things that's always confused me. Even early on when I got into the speaking world, I would see people that literally they show up just before their presentation and then they leave very quickly afterwards. I've never understood that because for
No,
me, I always, a matter of fact, I'm more freaking out about flight delays and miscellaneous stuff like that. I show up the day before and I leave the day after,
I
so there's
just did that. Yes.
no stress, it's there, and if I got extra time, I can go walk around the city a little bit, you know?
Right.
But that is such a powerful thing, and for me, like, that's where Meet Cool People came from. Me doing when I was traveling in 2019 as a speaker, I'm going to events and I'm hanging out, and I always told tell people this is where it literally came from, is like, I come, yes, I'm here to speak. I love speaking. I love teaching this stuff. But the reality is that one of my favorite things to do is to meet the people here, go have dinner, break bread, get to know each other because I love to travel around the country, not because I like traveling, because quite honestly, I don't, but I love to meet cool people. And that's how Meet Cool People came from.
I
That's
love it.
literally how the term came from. And it was about that because I go and I'm hanging out. I'm like, I mean, many times I'm in trouble because I'm out in the lobby talking to somebody and they want you back in the room again. And I'm like, shush, I'm busy visiting, you know? But that's such a powerful thing that people miss out on so much opportunity with that. And I don't understand it. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Well, and as an event planner, I'm in the back of the room and you have just spoken the day before and you left. And so now they're coming up to me with forms and they're asking me questions. Well,
Mhm.
I'm not your sales team. I
Right.
heard the same presentation you gave. I can't answer those questions. So you've lost out on some clients because you left early. Don't
Mhm.
rely on the event team to close business.
Right.
If you are at that level and you can bring your own team with you and they can stay there and they can do that and I can just say, "Hey, go talk to Joe over there.
Mhm.
He's the associate. Ask him any questions." But people have there's four reasons why they don't buy. No time, no money, no trust, and no authority. So no time means I don't have enough time. I already bought two programs. I can't afford another one. No money, they're broke. They just
Right.
can't seem to do it. They spend more time on more money on Starbucks than they do on their own business. That's a personal opinion. Um, no trust means that you didn't get them enough trust, and no authority. And the authority is, I got to go ask my husband or whatever that
Mhm.
is. But it's the no
Yeah.
trust. They need to come up and ask questions before they give you your credit card. So
Yes.
don't lose out on those offers.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that, and that's where, like, when you're speaking on stage, you can't answer everybody's
No.
questions, and a lot of times, like, I had somebody a great example about this, which I think is funny you brought up the whole Starbucks thing as I'm sitting here with my mocha sitting here. Um, I was having a craving at lunchtime. I'm like, "I'm gonna go get my coffee, and then I'll come back." It's interesting 'cause that you bring this up about that. I had somebody who on stage, I saw them speak at an event. One of the best speakers from stage I've ever seen, and to this
Mhm.
day, I would still say this person is still one of the best I've ever seen. Then I saw them speak the next month at another event, and before they were getting up to speak, I actually walked up to them and I just said, I want to thank you so much for the presentation you did last month. I was there and I thought it was really great. I just wanted to tell you how much I enjoyed it. And the only words out of their mouth was, so did you join the program? And I'm just like, you just killed the trust right there.
Right. Right.
And it's like, okay, we want to have real conversations. Yes, we are in business. We need to make money. That's just a fact. But you want to be able to have that approachable conversation with somebody and treat them like a human being, not like an ATM. And that goes along with my whole motto of everything that I believe in anyway. But as a speaker, when somebody walks up to you, they're wanting to talk to you. They want to get a feel for you and get to know you a little bit to see if they can actually trust you and put their faith in you, which means putting their credit card in your hands, right?
Right.
You know?
Well, and the same thing goes with whether you're talking one to one, one to 20, or one to many.
Mhm.
The idea is you're having a conversation with the audience. You're talking to an audience. It's a conversation. We teach this at Speakonomics on how to say what you do in 11 words or less so that you get more engaged, so that you're
Mhm.
curious, that people ask questions. You don't want to like vomit all your information at them. And they're like, oh my God, you're selling me or marketing to me. We got to stop marketing and start talking to people. It's a
Yes.
conversation. No matter if you're on a stage in front of 200 people, you're talking to the guy right in the front row. You're
Mhm.
having a conversation. It's not I. It's, you know what? We help people just like you
Right.
grow
No.
your business by just stepping on a stage and sharing your story. It's
Yes.
simple. And go, ooh, how do you do that? Oh, well, we work, it get the conversation going.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that, and it is, and I can agree with that too, because of the fact that, like, when I first started, that's how I learned the type of speaking style that I have, which is that conversational. I'm talking to one person. Many times, I'm calling them out, and then I talk to somebody else, and I'm like, I am not talking to everybody in the room because guess what? I'm an introvert, and I used to be terrified to get in front of a crowd. I remember the very first presentation I ever did. I had a 8-page handout that I gave everybody, and I literally sat there shaking reading this thing. And what ended up helping me was there was a guy in the front row who I had had coffee with, or no, lunch with the week before. And he started reading. He started stopping and asking me questions, reading ahead on my handout to get me out of looking at the paper and just looking at him to answer the questions. And that was the aha that I had. Luckily, it happened early in my career because then I was like, oh, I'm just having a conversation with somebody. And it changed everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I'm so tired of people with their phone and they're reading off their phone and they're checking their notes. I mean, I was at an event last week and my goodness, these people had to do 5 minutes. They had this special little stage for these
Mhm.
5 minute talks.
Yeah.
They could not go 5 minutes without reading off their phone. If you can't talk about your business off the cuff for 5 minutes to an audience, are you really an expert in your field?
Yeah. I find that that's an interesting one, and I do believe in being prepared and having your flow, have
Right.
your outline. Like even for me, like if I'm speaking, especially like virtually, a lot of times I'll have just bullet points of the stuff that
Mhm.
I want to make sure I talk about. Quite honestly, most of the time that's for me because if I don't, I squirrel off in some weird direction. The next thing I know, I'm talking about 10 different things other than what I was actually planning on talking. But having that is like, okay, it's a bullet point. It's just oh yeah, this is a topic I wanted to make sure that I touched on or a specific story. But once you like, that's your starting point. That's to get you going. You shouldn't
Right.
have to be reading it and looking at it all the time. And like for me, I mean, and a lot of this is just, it is practice. Like when you first start, yeah, when you're first starting out, your slides are there to help you, but to be perfectly honest, they should be there just to make sure that you stay on track, not for you to actually
Exactly.
read. Yeah. And over time, I mean, other than that, it is your stuff, it is your content. And if you're an expert in your industry, yeah, you should be able to just talk about it. I agree
Well,
with
and
you.
the mistake that people make is they memorize. And when
Mhm.
you memorize something, if you say a word out of order or something, it
Yep.
throws you off and
Yep.
then you stumble because you don't know where you're at. You need to understand that nobody in the audience has your script. Nobody knows what you're supposed to say. If you
Right.
have to take a breath, sometimes it's good. Stop. Think for a
Mhm.
second. Then go. Don't, ah, ooh, and you make those faces, nobody
Yeah.
knows what you're supposed to say. So just keep going.
Yeah. Or say, oops, I forgot this.
Oh gosh, no.
I get that one a lot, and I'm like, "No, shh, don't say that, don't say that."
I went to a luncheon and man, this was like 2016 and my girlfriend was speaking and I was, I'm like, "Okay, I'll go and support you." And she got up there and she had her speech on a piece of paper and she's
Mhm.
reading it. And she gets to the point where she goes, "When I was turned 50, I realized that's as far as my sister had gotten because she had died of cancer." And she's reading her story of her
Mhm.
sister who died of cancer. I said,
Right.
if you cannot tell an emotional story without reading it off a piece of paper, how can we feel emotional about it?
Right.
And so, I took her through it. I said, "You gotta walk your talk. You gotta walk it. It makes it more conversational. It gets in your bones. It gets you going. It's easier." So a month goes by and I go to another event and she happens to be speaking again and she has cards this time. So now she's just got bullet points and
Okay.
she's got cards and she starts talking and she looks over and sees me and I swear she turned white. And she looked down at those cards and she walked over a table and put the cards down and gave her talk and she was magnificent. And I'll go,
Nice.
"It's a crutch for you. Get
Right.
rid of the crutch."
Yeah. I love it. That is a hilarious story, and that's good because, I mean, you taught her something that's very important, which is we know our stuff.
Right.
We just have to have the confidence that we do.
Well, and understand that it's not for everybody. We're not
Mhm.
talking to everybody. We're talking to the one person in the audience that needs to hear what our story's about. That
Yep.
one person who's struggling, that what we know and what we've been through could change their lives. We're not trying to close 100% of the room into our $2,000 program. We're trying to one person, you
Yep.
know? And
Yep.
if you can do that, you're golden.
Yeah. And I think you just brought up a really important thing is that, yes, again, going like I said earlier, yes, we do need to get paid. This is our
Yeah.
jobs. We need to get paid. But if you come in from a place of like, this is a pet peeve of mine in the industry is how many buying units are in the room?
Yeah.
No, those are freaking people.
Yeah.
Like, you got to change the mindset behind it. And when you can do that and talk to people like they're real people, I find for me, it's speaking has been one of the most satisfying things that I've ever been able to do. It's one of my favorite things to do. Like literally, it goes right underneath meals because I like to have meals with other people. And it's like, I don't care about the food. I want to have a great conversation with somebody and break bread. And
Mhm.
speaking is right underneath. Those are my two favorite things. And so when you can do that, and it gives people an opportunity to really share their experience, share their wisdom, and get in front of people to really help them um, share what they have and make an impact on somebody else's lives, that's like freaking cool, right?
Well, it's that give first, share always, just give, give,
Exactly.
give.
I love it.
because the universe will bring it back to you. You'll whatever happens, and it might be a week from now, it might be 6 weeks from now. Have a really good opt-in for a free gift.
Mhm.
Nurture the hell out of it in the back
Yep.
end. And close some people. There's all kinds of ways to make money on the stage. We need to stop thinking we have to get paid to speak.
Yep.
That is my biggest thing. Like only corporations, associations, and organizations have a budget to pay speakers.
Mhm.
And let's say that you're someone who's teaching, oh, your next step in life for people that are seniors, or people that are getting close to retirement. Well, I, as a corporation, aren't going to bring you into my company to talk to my employees about finding your joy and finding your mission and finding your
Right.
goal somewhere other than behind your desk.
Right.
So, why do you think that topic you're going to get paid for?
Right.
No. But if you have a program or a service that people are actually going to pay you for, you'll make more money.
Right. Nope. Very, very true. Honestly, very true. So we're getting close to time here. And before we get into the last two questions, I'd like to ask, is there anything for somebody who's new starting out? Is there anything last minutes, like bits and nuggets of wisdom that you would like to share with them?
I just say, don't blow it in front of a large group. If you are just getting started, do 5 minutes in front of the Chamber of Commerce. Go to the Rotary Club, go to local networking groups. Start sharing your message in smaller groups and honing it, finding out what works. Ask people, did that resonate with you? Did I do okay? What do you think? Get feedback, be open to feedback. And then as you're getting more clarity in your message, just then bigger stages, longer time on stage. Do not go and spend $5,000 to get on a stage in front of 100 people when you've never done it before and blow your opportunity because people in that audience are going to be at other events.
Yeah. Very well said. That is another one of those pet peeves for me.
We have a
Yeah.
lot in common.
We do. Yeah. This is why we've already had a couple of really great conversations lately, and I foresee many, many other ones as well. So that was great. And I 100% like, please take what Toni just said and literally type it out and put it on your computers. Like, no, do not spend $5,000 to get on a stage when you've never spoke before. Get
Right.
yourself together. Learn from the small groups, because you want to screw it up on the small groups, because when you get on the big stages, they won't give you another chance.
Nope.
And you don't want to come off as, oh yeah, we saw her at the other one, and yeah, you don't want to be that person. You
Mhm.
want to start with the little ones. Practice it, get better in front of an audience, not just by yourself, because practicing in front of your computer is one thing, practicing in front of real people is a whole different creature. But yeah, that is such a big, big deal that so many people don't get. So I love that you shared that. Thank you. Okay, so we are now at the end of the time. We got two questions. Last one's the easy one. How can people get a hold of you? But before that,
Okay.
my favorite question. I love to ask everybody this one. This is the Meet Cool People show. So, what do the words "meet cool people" mean to you?
Well, you think back when you say cool people, and it takes you right back to high school, and they were all the cool people, were all the cheerleaders, which I wasn't. So I have to think now, cool people. Cool people are people that are just fun to be around. They have something interesting to say. They're doing great things in their life, and they're just relaxed in who they are, and they just want to share their stories over a glass of wine or a dinner or a lunch. That's what I like cool people. I like people who are not trying to sell me, not trying to market to me, and not trying to use me to get on a stage or to meet somebody or to get an introduction. People that are just genuine and real and authentic. Those are the cool people.
Very well said. I love it. Awesome.
People
Okay.
like Eli.
Well, thank you. I did not even pay you to say that, but yes. Oh, and that is such a, as I love the way you put that, because it is, you know, just having a good conversation with good people. That's really, if you can do that, everything else kind of puts into place, which is great.
Well, and especially if you don't agree on the same thing and you can have an honest conversation about both sides. That's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, which is a rarity in today's world.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of, like, there's a million things we could talk about. We don't need to talk about the stuff we're going to fight about.
Right. Oh,
There's
I
a
love that.
there's a
Love that.
million other things we can talk about. Okay, so last question. This is the easy one. How can people find more of awesome Toni stuff? And I know you have your stuff with Speakernomics. I'd love to let you share that for just a second as well.
So we do a 2-day workshop. It's a live workshop, and we teach you the business of speaking. And I bring in some amazing speakers because, like I said, I teach the business of it, but other people teach body language and getting that easy yes answer and all those things, AI, everything, podcasting. So we are in Dallas, Texas, February the 26th and 27th. We are in Orange County, California, the first week of March. And all they have to do is go to speakonomics.net to find out more. But if you want to get in touch with me, I am at toni@tonicaruso.com. Simple, easy. Shoot me an email or follow me on Instagram at Toni Caruso Events.
Awesome. Love it. And we'll be sure to put all of those in the show notes. If for everybody listening, if you've got any qualm about getting into speaking, you're interested in it, I would highly recommend you check out Toni's program.
Thank you.
I know people who've gone through it. I know Toni very well. One of these days I should go through it purely because of the fact that it would be fun to hang out with you. But you know, I can vouch for her experience. I've known Toni for from a distance. We've been like we started the show. We've been in distance communication with each other for years, but I know what her background is, and I would highly recommend if you're looking at getting into speaking, she's got a great program to help you get started.
Well, thank you.
Awesome. All right. So, everybody, get out there. Have an amazing, amazing week. As always, if there's anything I can do to help you out, reach out. Let me know. Take care. And that wraps up another Meet Cool People show. Now, if you like what you heard, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, or review so I can help introduce these amazing cool people to even more amazing cool people. And just remember, meeting cool people is just the beginning. You need to have a system in place to follow up with the amazing people that you meet. This is exactly what we do for our clients. Now, if you'd like to see if my team and I can help you, go to convertmoreclientsnow.com and check out the case study video to see exactly how we're helping our clients turn casual connections into cash clients for life. Again, go to convertmoreclientsnow.com and see how we can work together to turn you into a follow-up rock star.